For 2024, Mercedes has decided to replace the C-Class Coupe and the E-Class Coupe with this, the Mercedes CLE. Now, what we have in this video is the CLE 300. There's going to be a CLE 200 in Europe, which is diesel, I assume. There's going to be a CLE 450, a CLE 53 AMG, and apparently they're coming out with a CLE 63 AMG. I'm just hoping that they will not use that disgusting four-cylinder engine. Nothing wrong with a four-cylinder engine. In fact, some great cars are powered by a four-cylinder engine, such as the Integra Type S and the Elantra N, but they don't cost $100,000. Now that we don't have a C-Class Coupe, where does this thing fit? Which car does it compare? Well, one of them is this, the 2024 BMW 4 Series Coupe. For 2024, the 4 Series Coupe received a facelift in and out. We have new headlights, now it looks like a cat with an open mouth, new interior including a new large curved display, different steering wheel, less buttons, and of course, new user interface. Another thing I noticed is the BMW laser taillights, which are very similar to the BMW M4 CSL. Now, the fact is that you can actually get them not just the M440i, but also in the M430i, which is the base model. As a BMW M4 CSL owner, you must be really pissed seeing them in a standard vehicle. In terms of looks, I can definitely see the Mercedes CLE being classier and sleeker. It definitely has a presence, probably one of the best looking cars Mercedes has recently made. The rear end of the Mercedes CLE reminds me a lot of the Infiniti Q60, which also shows that that car has aged very well. If you look carefully, the side profile of the taillight is very similar to the Q60. The difference is in the center where you have the Infiniti badge and you don't have a full piece. The next thing that this is different to the Q60 is the tailpipes. See, these are actually fake. They might look real, but they're not functional. They're just there for design purposes, which kind of annoys me because even the base model 430i has proper exhaust tips. The BMW does stand out as well, mostly for the wrong reasons. The front end initially looked like a pig. Mind you, the M3 and M4 have similar designs, but somehow I got to love them more. This though, not so much. The cat eyes have actually helped the overall design in the front for 2024. It kind of looks more serious, mad at the same time. But I have to admit, the grille still looks like a pig's nose. Having said that, and weirdly enough, I don't know why, but I like it more in the M3 and the M4. Maybe because it's more muscular. This is too soft of a line. It's just, it hasn't grown on me at all when it comes to the 4 Series and the 4 Series Grand Coupe. In this case, it's just, I don't get it. I don't understand why I don't like it in here. It's just too different to the M4. The M4 looks more beefy and more aggressive. This, on the other hand, it's like, it's got the soft lines. It just doesn't fit well. I did a poll on Instagram to see which one you guys liked the most, and it seems like majority of the people, including BMW Canada, voted for the 4 Series. I think the Mercedes CLE is the better looking out of the two. It has a very sleek design, and even my team guy behind me agrees with that. The Mercedes looks the best out of the two. It just looks more luxurious, and I absolutely love these wheels. I don't know why, they make it look like a Maybach. That's the way I look at this thing. It's got the lines, it's got the profile, it stands out. I love the rear end, how well stretched it is. It actually makes it look like a large coupe, which I'm actually a big fan of it. That's not to say that the BMW is ugly. Again, the front end, it's a different story. But overall, they actually have done a pretty good job. I love the tail lights, I love the side mirrors, very sporty. I do like the rear end, especially because you get real exhaust tips. The M4 CSL laser lights are absolutely gorgeous, there's no denying. But overall, for me, if you get to see this in person, I think a good amount of you guys will agree that this looks better than the 4 Series. I just can't get past that grille in the front. M4, M3, I'm okay with it. This one, yeah, it's pretty ugly, I have to say. Now that we've covered everything in terms of design, let's talk about space. First thing, the CLE offers more space than the outgoing C-Class Coupe. In fact, it offers 2.1 cubic feet of space in comparison to the BMW M430i Coupe, which only offers 12 cubic feet of space. The Mercedes CLE offers 14.8. Next thing, they both offer seats in the back, but can you actually use them? This is the part of my job I don't like. I'm 6'2", so this is going to be fun. First of all, with the BMW, you have a lever at the top. You pull that, the seat moves forward automatically. And then, why do I do this? I mean, could I do this for an hour? If I had a gun to my head, probably. Other than that, maybe if I move forward, no, there's no hope. Let's just say that if you're 6'2" or maybe even 6 foot, you shouldn't be in the back of this. It's just for kids. I was going to fold the seat in the front, maybe see leg room, but I'm not going to bother because I don't want to get stuck here with this head in this position and then legs stuck as well. I'm going to feel claustrophobic. Okay, let's try the Mercedes. You know, it's actually not that bad coming out of the vehicle. I feel like a lizard slowly moving out. And we're good. Now on to the Mercedes. The first thing I notice is a little cool strap they have on the side here to pull the seat and move it forward. I like it. Nice touch. It looks very like gentleman's car. Let's get into the second row. A bit more spacious in here getting in. Okay. Not bad. I mean, I'm still sort of touching the roof, but I don't have to have a gun to my head to be in the back of this. Just a disagreement with my wife would do. Yeah, it's actually pretty spacious. I also noticed that there's a lot of storage units in here. We've got 2 cup holders, one here for your phone. There's more storage on this side. Really nice touch. The seats are nice. There's also interior lighting as well. But I noticed the side window here, it's smaller than the BMW. Kind of feels a little bit claustrophobic on this side. But then again, you have a larger sunroof in comparison to the BMW, which brings more light inside. And it's a lot easier for us to film as well. In BMW, you have to have lights projecting into the interior to get a shot of me. And then there's more cup holders here. There's more space here. Really nice overall. I could see myself being in the back of this for like 2 hours maybe. But let's see this. Look at the nice seats. Oh, okay. Well, yeah, they have to move the seat forward, otherwise it would be very rough. But I love the shape of the back of this thing. Like, it looks.
This function can't be operated using voice control.
I wasn't talking to you. Mercedes, stop. Can't even mention the name of this car because this thing will freak out on you. Okay, back to lizard mode. And I'm out. Into the BMW. First, let's talk about the massive screen. First thing you'll notice when you jump in is the curved display. Cluster infotainment in one piece. For 2024, it has received the new facelift version, but we will be using, for the driving comparison, the 430i from 2021, which is different, 2022 technically. But for 2024, because we couldn't find an M430i, we have to use this as a comparison to give you an idea how they look in terms of interiors, just to make it fair, because this one is new. The steering wheel is new. We have seen this before. Reminds me the same as the i7 or the 7 Series. This beautiful sculpted area here with the M badge. Really nice overall. But having said that, the BMW looks to me more like a sporty vehicle on the inside rather than luxurious. It's still very luxurious in many ways. It offers a lot of tech features, but it is geared towards sportiness rather than luxury. And you notice that from the steering wheel, like it's thick, this thing, and then the center console. I do appreciate the control unit here for the screen because it just keeps this nice and clean. You don't have to use touchscreen all the time. Let's start it up first. This is equipped with the M440i, which uses the B58 engine in this case with a mild hybrid. And I have to say, it's very good in terms of functionality. Everything is where it should be. One thing that annoys me a lot is the fan speed. I always have a hard time finding the right spot. It's either too high on the second level or too low in the first level, and that annoys me a lot when I drive this thing. So I try to figure out what's the best level to use. Next thing is that this does come with sunroof, but it's a small version in comparison to what you find in the Mercedes. Then you've got pedal shifters in the back, and then when you sit inside, the actual seat belt pulls out from the side so you don't have to reach all the way to the back. It's a really nice touch, something you'll find in the Mercedes. But the design language in the BMW, it's more sportiness rather than luxury, with that premium touch overall. And I think that was the fan going a little bit crazy. Into the Mercedes CLE. I mean, this is very familiar to me because I've seen it in other vehicles, but I do think that this looks more luxurious. When you jump into this car, you notice that right away. It has a different language design compared to the BMW. This is more luxury. Let's start it up. The steering wheel, though, it's really nice. It's got a flat bottom as well. They're trying to make this look a little bit more sporty, but it's just not as thick as the one in the BMW, which feels like it was built for track use in many ways. This is more daleable. You've got pedal shifters in the back. The entire design has that butterfly style, in my opinion. You've got your upper wings with buttons and the lower wings as well. I like the design. Then we have the infotainment and the cluster separated from each other, which in some ways is a good thing in my opinion, because not everything is right in front of you, everything is right here. And what they have done really well is the center unit here where the infotainment display is. It is tilted a little bit towards the driver, but just enough that the passenger can actually see the center screen. Big fan of it. Next thing I like about it is the entire infotainment display, which is easy to use. Everything is where it should be. At the top, we've got the fans, which kind of might remind me a bit of the turbo engines of the fighter jets. That's the way these things look. But I have a small complaint about Mercedes, and I think you guys will agree with me. These cheapy feel plastics, like there's like cracking. I feel like I can actually open this thing with my fingers and then pull this entire thing. There's like creaking and cracking. Like all that, just I don't like that in a premium car that costs that has the price tag of almost $100,000 fully loaded. I'd like a bit more of a sturdiness, something that feels luxurious yet good quality. This is like very, very cheapy. You don't see that much in the BMW. That's an annoying thing. But then again, with time you get used to it because you're not touching this every second. You put them in one position and that's it. I do appreciate the massive sunroof in here because not just the driver and the passenger in the front, but also the passengers in the back get some of that sunlight and the view if you're driving at nighttime, which I think is very, very helpful. In terms of space and the seats, the Mercedes seats are designed towards premium and luxury and also comfort. The BMW feel more like a sporty design rather than comfort. These are large. I love the rear side of this thing, the way it's sculpted and designed. Really nice touch. But you will not going to like this kind of color inside, in my opinion, because it's going to be very hard to keep clean unless you have some sort of butler or someone that cleans the car for you. But I'm assuming if you have a car like this, maybe you could afford like proper washing it to a proper place. That might do the job. I wouldn't pick this color in my opinion. Although it looks nice, it's going to be a pain keeping it clean. When you drive the Mercedes CLE, in this case the 300, first thing you notice how civilized this vehicle is. It's very soft in terms of suspension system. The steering is very soft. In fact, you don't have to drive fast at all in this car. It doesn't make you feel like you want to drive fast. It's very, very chill. It's the type of car that someone named, well, I'd say Karen, but Karen are annoying people, but someone that is retired, she had a nice job or he had a nice job, and then now they're looking for peace and quiet. They're looking for more comfort, but they don't need the space because the kids are out, they don't even call, and then no grandkids, they don't bother you, they moved in a different country, or just you moved to Florida. That's the type of car this thing is. It's very, very civilized in the way it drives, very comfortable, very spacious inside. For me, as someone is 6'2", I love driving this, and I'm never eagerly to drive or never eager to drive fast. I just feel like this car is just meant for a lot of comfort, and I'd say a lot of two-door coupes don't do that job very well. I don't know if they're gonna offer a convertible. If they do, this thing is gonna sell like a hot cake. I like how this thing drives. It's comfortable. The cabin noise is fantastic. Don't hear much of the road noise. Now you're probably wondering, wait a second, why are you reviewing the M440i to the CLE 300? It doesn't make any sense. Well, we use the new, well, essentially facelift M440i just to compare to the interior and exterior and also the new tech feature offered. But the driving experience right now, I'm doing it in a 2022 BMW M430i, which is essentially the same engine as you'd find in the Mercedes, the 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. For me, I find the Mercedes to be more chilled and more relaxed. It is tailored towards comfort rather than sportiness. I think luxury is the first thing about the Mercedes that comes into mind. This one feels very aggressive all the time. It feels like you want to have it in sport mode the entire time and drive fast. It's loud on the inside. You hear the road noise a bit more than you do in the Mercedes. It is very cramped in here. Now, having said that, this is the old design, which means you've got the screen in the center here, and then you've got the cluster on the sides, so they're separated. And there's a few more buttons in this one than you do have in the new one, because the new one now is full touch screen. I find this to be more sort of like a boy racer vehicle. Meanwhile, the Mercedes is more of the grown-up style. It's probably for people that enjoy a bit of that sportiness rather than comfort. They're constantly like close to the steering wheel. Meanwhile, the Mercedes is like very laid back. You're just relaxing, enjoying the rides. The room inside the CLE is far better than this. It just feels larger overall. This feels very small. It actually doesn't feel like you have seats in the back when you're driving. It feels like it's a two-seater overall, which is kind of weird. The BMW feels like it's faster than the Mercedes on the road, but there's only one way to find out. A drag race. Now, let's talk about the specs. Under the hood, the BMW 430i from 2022 uses essentially the same engine as the 2024 BMW 430i, which is a 2-liter inline-4 twin-power turbocharged engine. It makes 255 brake horsepower and 294 pound-feet of torque, uses an 8-speed automatic transmission, and of course, it is X-Drive all-wheel drive system with a curb weight of 3,828 pounds or 1,736 kg. In Canada, base model starts at about $62,000. Meanwhile, in the US, $52,000. Next one is the 2024 Mercedes CLE 300, which uses a 2-liter inline-4 turbo with mild hybrid drive. It makes exactly 255 brake horsepower, like the Beamer, and 295 pound-feet of torque with a 9-speed automatic transmission, 4MATIC, only 1 pound-foot of torque less than the Beamer, with a curb weight of 4,057 pounds, or 1,840 kg. Now that shocked me a little bit. Meanwhile, the price here is at $61,000, in the US at $56,000 for the CLE, so you will be paid a little bit more in the US.
Another drag race.
Launched at the same time.
Come on, Mercedes. You can hold off that BMW. Come on, Mercedes. Come on.
He's just a bit ahead. I'm catching him up. I'm catching him up. I'm catching up. Come on, BMW. Catching up. Yeah.
Don't. It's catching up. That BMW, man, it catches up. Oh, and across the line.
Catching up. Catching up. Catching up. Neck and neck. Neck and neck. Okay, so 3, 2, 1, go.
Baby. Oh, yeah, that's...
I got him. I got him. I got him. I got him.
Yep. It's got the proper gearing in that BMW.
Yeah, on a roll race, I have a better transmission than he has. I got him. After this race, you're probably thinking, the BMW is the better choice. Well, not so easy. In my opinion, the Mercedes is the better choice. Why? It offers more space, it looks way better on the outside, it has nicer interior, it has more cargo space overall, and the drag race was neck and neck. After driving the vehicles back to back, I think the Mercedes is the best daily out of these two.